Ethan Scardina got CCHA Forward of the Week for the past week. Between him and Seth Biden, fifth year guys who have been at BG all 5 years, how important have they been, for you this year? And, not only, helping establish your expectations, but really just having the team really embrace BG hockey and embrace the culture and everything.
They've been fantastic. And it's what's been really good about both those guys is if you look at their probably minutes played is a little bit lower than what they were in the past. Maybe not so much at times in an offensive position to compare what they were in the past. But talking to both of them, they want to win, and they want to leave on the right note. And even a player like Seth Fighton, like he's the ultimate, I said before, Bowling Green hockey player. Like he plays the game hard, he plays the game right. He's on the walls and net front in the tough areas of the ice, and he's been healthy scratched a few times this year, and that's not easy for a grad student, and especially as someone who's played, years where he's played maybe all the games. But and same with Ethan Scardina, like he's been off the power play, on the power play, up and down the lineup. But what you get every day from those guys is just such, how can I say, just such an investment into the program, and probably my only disappointment is not being able to coach them more than 1 year. I said that to both those guys because they're just such high character. They play with conviction, hardness. They leave everything on the ice, and I think that would be, as I saw, Ethan's dad was in the past weekend, a couple weekends ago, and I said that to him. I said, I wish I've been able to coach your kid longer, and it's unfortunate, but right now I'm real happy with those type of leaders. We can rely on them to bring an honest effort every night, level of competition that everyone needs to follow. So really, again, coming into the year not knowing any of these guys, really fortunate to have those type of two players specifically, in your corner and battling for each night, because it's never from a lack of effort. Sometimes the pucks may bounce the wrong way of them, but man, those guys, they compete hard each and every night and every practice. So real fortunate to have those guys as leaders.
You've been in overtime a few times this year.
Yeah.
What do you like what do you see from the team that you like, especially as you start getting into the end of the season, you go into playoff hockey, just the battle tested playing sometimes extra hockey?
Yeah, we've probably put ourselves in overtime a little bit more than we should have off that, right? But you find ways, and what's neat about hockey and neat about our group this year, we've won in a lot of different ways, and I think that can only help us down the stretch. And this whole year, it's all about learning as we approach, a month out from now, and as I always say, we win or we learn, off it, and we're still learning how to close out wins, we're still learning how to play with leads, we're still learning without, and that takes time. That takes, you find a team that is won 4 or 5 years in a row and they get up a goal, they don't grip the stick. They're like, oh, here we are, we're good. Where sometimes it gets a little bit, they get a little antsy and grip it because they're like, oh, the puck didn't get out. Man, I can't have it back in our net. Next thing you know, it's a tie game. But man, like our guys, we don't panic. We talk about resiliency. So a lot of branding in our locker room is R60 plus, resilient for 60 plus minutes. That means, and we talked about at the beginning of the year that, you're going to have to go to overtime shootout. So we bend, we don't break. And we always, you hear guys talk about it in between every time we go to overtime, our 60 plus boys, our 60 plus, like, hey, here we go. We've been here, we know how to win. And fortunately we've been on the right side, some of those, but we've been on the wrong side, which, that just kind of prepares you for future competition.
You got some production out of some players who their contributions might not always show up on the stat sheet this weekend. As a coach, how do you feel about that? Seeing some guys get some statistical recognition.
I think it always makes them feel good. We play the game to score goals. Obviously, goalies play the game to get shutouts, and minimize. Same with D. But whenever a player can get a point, or a goal or assist, like Parks scored a goal there for us there, and he's played really good for us all year. And the bench gets excited for that, off it because they know how much, energy and how much battleness he's put in all season to get rewarded. So it's always fun when you see, a player like that score. Kind of like when you see a freshman score his first goal, or a rookie, like everyone gets excited for them. And in this case, like when Fights scored at home there a few weekends ago, like I think that was his first of the season. Like it was against Augustana, I think, right? There in net front right at the end of the first, where you would have thought that was the overtime game winner. Like the bench was so excited, I think, for the goal, but also more for Seth Bite. And I think that's what's really neat about our group is they're genuinely happy for other guys, and we talk about that. You have Hugh Millity, right? You got to give credit where credit's due. And our guys, like there's no me's. You know what I mean? Like, I know sometimes you get excited and you celebrate on your own, but if you really watch our guys, they really try to celebrate with each other and give credit to the guy who set it up. So always nice when the other guys can contribute and score goals.
I know we've talked about this before, obviously, with how the CCHA schedule goes. I mean, we played St. Thomas very early on up there. They're coming down here. They're fighting for home, ice in the playoffs. Just, what have they been doing well, and what challenges do they present for us this weekend?
Yeah, we played them up there, one in a shootout. Jack Blake's goal came in, great goal. And then the next night, we didn't fare too well, off it. And they're a good team, good skating team, well coached. They're obviously went through a little more, battle tested the first half of the year, and they've started to turn some of those games into wins now and playing with a lot of confidence. And with a lot of things, it's just a snowball effect. When you're winning, everything seems to be going well for you. So we know coming in that they're a well skating team. They play with good structure, special teams. Like it's good goaltender. Like it comes down to really us making sure we execute how we want to play. Off it. We'll have a couple tweaks to how to adapt to how they're playing, but I've never coached that way. I've always coached with. Let us, set the pace. Let us set the tempo. Let us send the physicality. And then in-game adjustments will come in. But our prep all week is still lets us execute what we want. But we as coaches are going to be ready to make some adjustments as the game goes on. And that's our job, off it. But I know it's going to be a battle. I would expect 1-goal games, off it. And I think what you're seeing is two teams kind of jockeying in the same position right now, and so it adds a little bit more to it, but that's what makes it fun.
Any other questions?
What have you enjoyed most about just this season now? Just being back, and you're pretty deep into your first season now. What have you enjoyed the most about being back now? And do you ever have moments that you're just like, wow, I'm back at my alma mater, and you just take it in? Are there moments where you just take it in?
Where I really take it in is just when I drive to work, like through down off, Worcester and into sometimes I go a different way home, like through campus a little bit, off it. Again, like I said, when I coach. I don't really can coach in front of 18,000 or 500. It doesn't matter. Like I just focus on the ice, part of it. Obviously, when you're coming off and the band's playing in the student sections there, and seeing the crowd, like that Augustana game was a fun. We had a great turnout, and like I said, very appreciative of the support from the community and the students and the supporters. But there's just the season's gone fast. I didn't think it would go this fast. Like I really didn't. For the little amount of games we play in college hockey compared to the CHL, like I thought, oh man, here we go. But like it's Wednesday and we already got St. Thomas in 48 hours. I'm thinking in my head, so I think if the season's going fast, that must mean I'm enjoying it. We're having fun. I love coming to the rink. Like I said, the staff and players give so much energy to me off. Like working with staff, Kurt and Dylan, like they're just so like they're here, they're excited. They probably get sick of me calling them 10 times on Sundays, and every evening when they're probably with their family. And sometimes my mind is on overdrive and I have a lot of questions. But, and it's the players. The players are fun to be around. And if you watch practice this week, it's hard to believe that here we are in February and the energy, the hoot and the hollering, like they're having fun. least I think they're having fun. And if they're having fun, I am. But we also know there's a lot of time left, a lot of work. But yeah, and it's really neat to be back and run into people that I haven't seen in years. You know, like last time I had dinner with my wife, and Doc Wojo's over there with his wife and Father Mike. Okay, so Father Mike used to work here on campus at the church. He baptized my daughter and I. I haven't seen him in 15 years. So there he was, and now we had dessert with him, and I haven't got to see him. And all this time, he works out of Toledo now, but now I got lunch on Monday with him. You know, like it's stuff like that when you come back home here like that and you run into people. And you know, when you're in a great city like Bowling Green, great town, they're just wholesome people. And I was like last night, if we didn't go to Sam B's at that time, I wouldn't have got to see Father Mike. And now, and my wife and I talked like, you know, it was almost like as if he was meant to be brought back into our life again. And now, you know, we're going Monday, but he wants to mix in a jog. He's a runner. And he's like, oh, come down at noon, see the rink, go for lunch. Maybe we can get a run in. I'm like, whoa, we can do two or three of those things. We can see the rink and we can have lunch, but I'm not sure about the jogging part right yet. But it's things like that when you get to be back at Bowling Green that it's so neat. So I'm very grateful every day to be coaching here, and the support we get from the community and the students has been awesome. And it's now my job and our team's job to put a good performance on the ice and a good production and someone that they want to rally around and cheer about. So that's why that's basically our way to say thank you back.
Any other questions? Any on teams? All right.
Oh, someone's got to.
Oh,
Yeah.
there we go.
I just wondered, you haven't talked much about Jackson Niedermeyer and this season. What's he brought to the team as a grad student?
Yeah.
Transfer it.
Yeah. Well, he's not a grad student, just a senior, right?
Oh, okay.
Or junior. He's got one more year left.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny. Speed. I think a lot of it for Jackson was the adjustment. You know, I think he's really done a great job of taking coaching and wanting to learn and evolve his game, you know, off it. And he's a great teammate. The guys love him. You know, he's kind of one of those guys that he knows, I think, when to, you know, keep it straight, serious, but also to have fun, you know, and crack the joke at the right time. Or, you know, he's always, and if you ever see him, he's always smiling, you know, like on the ice, like it looks like he's out enjoying himself and having fun with his teammates. But we use him a lot in the penalty kill right now because of his speed and his stick and, you know, a lot down the stretch. I think his game has really evolved since the beginning of the year and has taken big steps for us. So we got to continue to get him, you know, improving each and every game like all our players. And I think what he's been able to do is start to carve out a niche for us on trust on the penalty kill and been a very reliable source for us there.